Coming up on Mountain News at 6, one Eastern Kentucky state senator files a bill designed to help with the housing crisis. We'll tell you what it would do. And many in Harlan County are mourning the death of a longtime journalist.
And we have few showers pushed through Eastern Kentucky today. They'll become more widespread, though, for the day on Thursday. Details coming up.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
Data from the U.S. Census Bureau on Kentucky housing from 2019 to 2023 found Eastern Kentucky had generally higher vacancy rates. 9 of the 10 highest vacancy counties in Kentucky are here in Eastern Kentucky. Morgan County was at number 1 with 31% vacancy, which is considered crisis level. It comes at a time when there's also a housing shortage and affordability issues. WYMT's Neely Green spoke to a state senator about a bill that could help combat that.
We are the last holders and protectors of this remarkable language and culture and history. And once it leaves Appalachia, it is gone forever.
In effort to prevent outmigration of mountain people, Senator Brandon Smith is trying to address the housing need in Kentucky. Senate Bill 142 would convert abandoned properties into affordable pathways for home ownership. The bill creates the Abandoned Home Pool Fund, which would allow experienced nonprofit housing partners to acquire and rehabilitate vacant flooded buildings.
So set some parameters in there, but the properties have to have been empty for at least, I think, 1 year. These properties will be assessed. They're pulling down the value of the neighborhood.
It will require a 20-year deed restriction. The rent-to-own structure will set up equal monthly payments that will create stable pathways to home ownership for 120% of the median income.
That's the house range, about $125,000. And it seems high, but the way we're working it for people is that they'll get into it at a very lower scale. And then they'll have value in their home, they'll have equity, and it'll be the first time some of these families have ever had equity.
The bill also ensures responsible use of the state's dollars through the self-sustaining fund.
One of the important parts about the self-sustaining revolving fund is that the rent payments are required to be returned to the state fund, and they take out a small part for the operating fee. And so the rest of it comes right back into the program. That makes it revolving and self-renewing.
Smith says one of his hopes for the bill is to turn community liabilities into community assets.
I want to make sure that the people that want to stay here, that have family buried here, they've got children buried here, they've got property that's always been in their family, all the reasons that attaches to the land, we have to have housing for them. So I can't build enough housing. So I see these houses that are empty and have realized this could be a tremendous opportunity for us to capture these families before they leave.
There is an initial $25 million appropriation for Senate Bill 142. In Perry County, Neely Green, WYMT Mountain News.
Senator Smith encourages folks who are in favor of the bill and would like to see it signed into law to contact their lawmakers and ask for their support. A new 2-year spending plan was called for its first vote in a legislative panel today in Frankfort. The proposed budget has drawn the ire of numerous groups in the state for various reasons. House Bill 500 was discussed in the Appropriations and Revenue Committee today amid concerns including employer caps of health insurance leading to more out-of-pocket costs. The budget does increase classroom funding, and the Kentucky Education Association says they are pleased that the language that would have caused some health insurance premiums to increase some $500 a month was removed. There's also more money than expected for school transportation. Other highlights include more money for police body armor, forensic labs, and about $8 million more for the Kentucky Higher Education Assistance Authority scholarships.
We're basically doing a 2% increase in FY27 with another 2% in an additional 2% in FY28.
Some of my anxieties have been abated, and I really thank the majority for your work because it means a lot that SEEK is growing. It means a lot that the Kentucky Employees Health Plan is secure for at least now.
The 2% that Budget Committee Chairman Petrie was referring to a moment ago was the SEEK classroom increase for the next 2 years. The budget was approved largely along party lines, Republicans voting yes and Democrats either voting no or passing. House Bill 500 received its second reading on the House floor today, so it can be called for a floor vote when the House next convenes. Of course, we'll keep following that as it goes along. Senate Bill 192 has passed through a committee. The bill focuses on modernizing financial reporting requirements for the state's smaller cities while strengthening transparency and accountability. The bill was sponsored by Lexington Senator Amanda Mays Bledsoe. It now heads to the full Senate for consideration. Was noticeably warmer outside today, but you're probably going to need that umbrella tomorrow. First Look meteorologist Eric Dean has our first look at the forecast.
Most definitely, Steve, especially as you head out the door and in the late morning, early afternoon hours, you'll need it. Take a look here at earlier today. Meteorologist Megan Dusmall gassed up the old news vehicle and went to Fred's Creek to talk to the Head Start and kindergarten group about weather. She had an awesome time there. Thank you so much for having us out there. Take a look here right now at the Kentucky-Tennessee border, I-75. You can see all is quiet along I-75. Temperatures right now in the 50s, even mid-40s. Look at Wise, 46, 53 in Clintwood, 53 in Jackson, 55 the Double Nickels in Booneville, 57 is the current temperature in Somerset. That feels like temperature, though. A little bit of a bite in the air in the upper elevations near Wise. That feels like temperature is at 40. Here's a look at live pinpoint Doppler radar. We're seeing that shower chance continue to push through from Laurel County down to Wayne County in Kentucky, over towards Whitley County, McCreary County, back into portions of Knox County, as well as portions of Clay and Whitley County. So those rain chances will continue as we go throughout the evening and overnight hours, becoming more widespread as we start your morning hours of your Thursday. We'll time everything out hour by hour, coming up in the First Alert forecast in a few minutes. Steve.
All right, Eric, thank you. One man is dead after a house fire in Owsley County. State police and the sheriff's office were called to the home on Ambergy Road in Booneville yesterday morning. Troopers found the body of 60-year-old Vernon Harold. The coroner's office pronounced Harold dead at the scene. The cause of the fire is still being investigated, but police say foul play is not suspected. The man accused of kidnapping a Kentucky teen pleaded not guilty in federal court. Investigators say Christian Delgado met a 13-year-old through a dating app and drove from Florida to Kentucky to pick her up last October. Police arrested Delgado in December after he and the girl were found in Maryland. Delgado faces federal charges of traveling across state lines for illicit sexual conduct and attempting to use intimidation to prevent communication with a law enforcement officer. A jury trial was set for May 4th. State police arrested a Jackson County woman following a narcotics investigation. Felicia Potter was charged on Monday. After obtaining a search warrant, troopers went to Jackson Drive in the Tyner community. When troopers searched the home, they say they found fentanyl as well as other drug paraphernalia. Potter was taken to the Jackson County Detention Center. On Monday, an Eastern Kentucky award-winning journalist died unexpectedly after a heart attack. WYMT's McKinley Calandrino spoke to those who say this loss is unimaginable for Harlan County especially.
Some say Jennifer McDaniel was as special to Eastern Kentucky as Eastern Kentucky was to her. She believed all Appalachian opinions mattered and deserved to be shared.
You know, we're only here on this earth for a short time, and hers was short, but man, she sure made an impact to me.
The mayor of Cumberland, Charles Raleigh, says McDaniel was a valuable asset, not only to Cumberland, but all of Harlan County. She acted as a voice for the people during some of the most difficult times.
When the flood, hit us and hit Harlan, she would be a voice to reach out and say, hey, why is this not going as quick as it could be going? She would listen to our concerns, and then she didn't care to call the higher-ups and say, hey, why aren't you doing this or why aren't you doing that? And she made a difference.
As she provided clarity and transparency and was dedicated to the stories that mattered.
If you read one of Jennifer's stories, you knew all you need to know. It didn't leave you asking more questions. She was a great reporter in making sure that whatever she covered was covered well.
Asking some of the hardest questions, but doing it for the people she served and loved. Her fiancé, Justin Decker, is recovering from a stroke, but says she will always be in his heart.
Son, I miss you all. And I love you so much.
Many say she was not just a reporter, but a friend to everyone she met, and her impact will live on. In Harlan County, McKinley Calandrino, WYMT Mountain News.
I talked to Jennifer many times about stories through the years. This came as certainly a shock to all of us, especially in the journalism community. She wrote some great stories, including about our own Brandon Robinson in the last few years. She will be missed. Jennifer's fiance said her 53rd birthday would have been next week, and the anniversary of her mother's death, who she cared for deeply and often talked about, that anniversary was this week. She was also an organ donor, and her obituary that just came out this afternoon says that was a lasting reflection of her compassion and generosity. Her visitation will be Friday from 5 until 7 at Anderson Laws and Jones Funeral Home. A graveside service will be Saturday afternoon at 1 at the Putney Cemetery.
All right, we're seeing a little bit of rain across portions of eastern Kentucky. This is seen right now at the London Corbin Airport. A few little drops being picked up there. Otherwise, we're seeing cloudy skies. Now, the warming trend will continue as we go throughout the next few days. Details on the first alert forecast coming up.
And one local college receives a grant from the American Heart Association. We take a look at what they plan to do.